We've been talking so much about Zelda's 40th anniversary, from the leaked Zelda-themed console to the upcoming Ocarina of Time remake. There's so much to also speculate that Nintendo hasn't even announced yet, or hasn't even been leaked at this point. And no, I'm not here to talk about the small things that we could get, like maybe some new NSO updates for Four Swords Adventures potentially, maybe Twilight Princess coming to the GameCube, or somehow getting its own new remaster, or Nintendo giving us a Zelda challenge the way they did with DK, giving us tons of missions to complete from old Zelda games on NSO, and even missions for newer games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not even talking about Zelda movie stuff or any merch they could announce in this show, even though lots of the cast has already been leaked and confirmed, so at this point, you might be wondering, what am I talking about in this video? What is the impossible? The question is, what is Nintendo's big special thing here that's going to blow everybody out of the water for the 40th anniversary? What's their big surprise that they're holding up their sleeves, and is there something bigger than we're even thinking? I think there's three possible options for major announcements that Nintendo can announce for this Zelda 40th anniversary. All three of these announcements, in my eyes, would be crazy, and would be something big enough to get all fans of all shapes and sizes going wild. But before I explain to you what I mean, and before we dive into all that goodness, guys, we are so close to 400,000 subscribers. You have been so awesome, blessing this channel so much with your support. I cannot thank you enough. Just about 2,000 subs away. I have some fun videos planned. You can make that happen by leaving a like and subscribing today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive in to what the impossible for this Zelda 40th anniversary could actually be. My first big thing I think Nintendo could do actually is just Ocarina of Time. I know, it's gonna sound weird, and also, are you guys tired of seeing the same footage over and over again? I know I freaking am. Nintendo, give us something else besides Link sleeping. All we know right now is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is getting a remake. We don't know in what form, how ambitious, but what if Nintendo was gearing up for this game to almost feel like an entirely new experience? So for the first crazy thing on this list, it's just for Ocarina of Time to feel so completely reborn. It's amazing, and it drops all of our jaws. I'm talking when we first get a reveal for this game, everything looks and feels different, yet still feels similar at the same time. It feels like a spiritual successor in a way to Ocarina of Time, where it almost feels like a great reimagining of a game that we once loved and played, where everything is tweaked and changed. The combat has an entirely new in-depth mechanic that actually is super fun to use, where every battle feels more unique than the last, every sword fight feels just as engaging as the one prior, dungeons are slightly tweaked and puzzles are added, new locations around the world, Hyrule Field being completely fleshed out with tons of new areas, new villages, new townsfolk, new side quests, just new things to do in a game that we once loved. No, I'm not expecting this game to change what makes Ocarina of Time so great, but just to add to it. Adding even new dungeons. The Light Temple that was scrapped, that gave us the Light Medallion, now we just get it for some reason. They can actually explain that by bringing that dungeon to life. Maybe even the Ice Temple that was planned at one time, giving us new and improved boss battles. An even more exciting final climactic battle against Ganondorf. And on top of that, give us more Ganondorf, more cutscenes following his story and where he comes from and connection with the Gerudo people. Give it voice acting. I don't care if you like it or not. I think it would be a great addition. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is maybe there's a reason this is the big holiday game this year. Maybe there's a reason Nintendo hasn't showed us really anything since June and the game still comes out this year. Maybe there's a reason we still don't have a release date or anything about this game, because this game is indeed going to be super ambitious, and it's going to be one of the greatest games to celebrate any anniversary that we ever got. It's going to be one of the greatest remakes ever made, and it's going to be truly spectacular. Yeah, once again, this is wishful thinking. None of this could come true, but this would make the Zelda 40th anniversary truly special. But something else would too. The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds is another game that I hold near and dear to my heart. In fact, it's probably my favorite top-down 2D Zelda game to date, but unfortunately it's been left on the 3DS to kind of rot away in history. I really would love to see this game return, and what if this is another big plan for the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary? We got our big Ocarina of Time remake, but they also give us a big top-down 2D Zelda remaster with the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds. Something along the lines of what they did with Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon would be perfect. Just a slightly enhanced version of that game from the 3DS, making it look nicer and neater for the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 potentially. Shoot, bring them to both, who cares? Now when I think of a studio that's actually known for making these remasters and remakes, the first thing that comes to mind is Grezzo. Grezzo gave us the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D remakes on the 3DS, the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. They even gave us the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake on the Switch, and Echoes of Wisdom, a Zelda-centric Zelda game for the first time ever in 2024. So they've been hard at work. What if they're also working on a remastered version of Link Between Worlds? Something else I think they could be working on is maybe some type of remake of the Oracle games would also be really cool. But personally, I think I would first want to just see Link Between Worlds make a return because, yeah, that game is that good. I'm that serious. You got to try it. Nintendo, give people the option to try it. Now, I don't know if we would necessarily call this the impossible. I mean, it's an old game that's just been stuck on a 3DS. It's not impossible. But still, it would be something that I know I would truly love, and I know a lot of people would as well, and would feed both fans of Zelda. The OG 3D Zelda fans, and of course the classic top-down 2D Zelda gameplay as well. Having both of these would be great, but there's also another, third fan base for Zelda fans that recently just started with the Switch era. Yep, and my number 3 impossible thing I think Nintendo could do for the Zelda 40th anniversary is reveal the next mainline Zelda game. Let me be clear, if you came up to me and said, hey, do you put money on this? Absolutely not. I'm not investing in this at all. In fact, I do not think this is going to happen, and I'd probably bet against it. But still, I wanted to put it on here just in case, because it is a non-zero chance, considering the fact that Nintendo has done this before. They are very well known for teasing Zelda games way in advance. They were teasing Breath of the Wild for years before it came out, and you might say, well, that's because Nintendo was going through a kind of hard time with the Wii U. They had to get fans excited for something, so that was definitely Breath of the Wild. But then I would say, what's the excuse for Tears of the Kingdom? I mean, Nintendo Switch was selling like hotcakes in the first couple of years. Shoot, the first 4 to 5 years, it just continued to go upward slope. So why did they need to show off Tears of the Kingdom in 2019's E3 showing? They absolutely didn't need to do this, but they did. And that's just how Aonuma and the Zelda team works. They like to get that hype started early, and it's already been 3 years since Tears of the Kingdom. We're still easily another 3 to 4 years away for the next Zelda game, but who's to say Nintendo can't just tease this thing? Show us a world. Show us what the art style is going to look like. Show us Link and Zelda and their new designs. Show us how this world is going to be so different than the world of Breath of the Wild, because please, we need to get out of this world of Breath of the Wild. But this one in particular feels like the impossible. If Nintendo is able to pull this off, oh my gosh, this would be such a special show. Now, I will say August is pretty much over. We got one more week, and as of right now, it looks like Nintendo is probably just going to have this Zelda anniversary stuff in the next General Direct in the first couple of weeks of September, which probably means if the show isn't ending with Zelda stuff, then we're not getting any type of new game announcement. And I just don't see that being the case. I think they'll definitely want to focus on Ocarina of Time, maybe show off another big game for another series coming next year. But who knows? Nintendo has definitely done the impossible before. They might want to start the hype cycle already and get people interested in buying a Switch 2 because, hey, a new Zelda game is on the way and it is going to be a Zelda Switch 2 exclusive. But like I said, it really also depends on how ambitious Ocarina of Time is going to be. If Ocarina of Time really is super daggone ambitious and it's like the craziest remake we've ever seen, we're definitely not getting news on the next game. But if Ocarina of Time is more just a safe little remake, then there could be a high chance we could at least get a tease, just something, but I don't know. What do you think? With only one final week of August, we are that much closer to seeing if Nintendo can pull off the impossible for the Zelda 40th anniversary. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in the next one.